has, as the place where we spend a lot of our childhood years going there, whether to eat or to take part in some of the activities with our parents and family. But how, somehow a lot of people will also look at the Grand Hotel with a little bit of mystery behind it. Then can we start off with a question by asking you to give us a very comprehensive background about the hotel itself as it enters 60th anniversary this year?
Yes, of course. After Chiang Kai-shek retreated in 1949, and his wife, Madam Chang, had decided she has a master plan to build a hotel in Yuanshan Mountain. Used to be a site for a Shinto shrine.
Yes.
And then during 1952, and she actually torn down this old Taiwan Grand Hotel, rebuilt this 14-story high palace-style building, and which is we will see the Grand Hotel nowadays.
Okay.
And also 1971 in Kaohsiung, the Grand Hotel also built as well.
Yes.
So that complete with the 14 palace style building was completed in 1973.
Okay.
And to actually accommodate it with more than 2,000, I would say, ambassadors, envoys, and very important guests from all around the world.
Okay. Just, from your responses now, there were, something new even to me. For example, there was an old Grand Hotel in Taipei that I didn't know about. And certainly, you mentioned that Madame Chiang Kai-shek wanted to build this palace-looking hotels in Taiwan. And was there any particular reason for the preference of a palace design hotel in Taiwan?
Well, the palace design hotel, I believe, because it's symbolized of the Chinese style, and there's no other places in this world has this type of a built hotel.
Yes.
So as everybody know, soon the Grand Hotel becomes a landmark in Taiwan.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
If my information serves me correctly, when the hotel was first completed, it was voted as one of the top 10 hotels in the world. Not just in terms of its design, but in terms of the tradition, the history, and of course, the service, quality of service at the hotel. Is that true?
Yes, it's very true. It was back to 1956.
Okay.
That was the...
that was before I was born.
You're still very young, Raymond. So it's well known during the time, and of course the Grand Hotel continued to serve the guests around the world with a very exquisite service, and we will offer the best comfortable stay for the guests around the world.
All right, but when we talk about the Grand Hotel architecture design, we talk about the palace-looking building, and a lot of people will look at it from a different angle, saying that this symbolizes the continuation of the authoritarian rule in Taiwan. It represents a continuation of the imperial past in China's recent history. How would that, how would you, as the sales manager for the hotel now, reconcile such a, assertion, regarding the, the design of a hotel?
Well,
did you think it was fair? Or was it,
yes, I think I found it was quite interesting.
Okay.
As myself, I'd be able to work in the Grand. I feel very proud because I've been actually work around international hotel for past many years.
Okay.
And then this is a great opportunity for me to actually be able to work for the Grand because to me, the Grand Hotel has a very rich historical background. And it's not just simply a hotel, like as you mentioned it before, but it's also content with very rich history and political background to actually build this hotel into a very interesting legend.
Of course.
So that's why I think what we have right now, and every time when the guests passing by our highway, and we notice there's a landmark.
Exactly.
And they would not notice there's any other international hotel in Taiwan, but yet the Grand is still the first one that they were ever noticed in Taiwan.
I think certainly for a lot of us, we do, share the sense of pride that the Grand Hotel has brought to Taiwan. But the Grand Hotel also, at the same time, has been regarded as a dragon palace. Then I see that you brought some materials to show some of the dragon decorations in the hotel. Can you, share them with us?
Yes, of course. It's my pleasure.
Okay.
Today, actually, I bought this book. It's the Grand Hotel story of the Grand Hotel. And on this page, particularly, we notice there's a century-old dragon.
Really?
As you actually just mentioned, that the Grand Hotel is a dragon palace.
Yes.
So this one of the century-old dragon, it's traced back to the Shinto temple period. That time was still is a Japanese rule.
Of course.
And this century-old dragon is actually 24 karat
gold.
Yes, gold.
Really?
Gold. And it's beautiful, standing right by our Golden Dragon Pavilion. And many of the guests visit our hotel. They will sometimes make a wish by the palm.
Yes, of
and
course.
Hopefully they will have some good luck to bring it to their life. So it's very historical, is one of this example.
Okay. All right. And next we also have the so-called the Nine Dragon Wall that is very well known. Yes.
Yes. The Nine Dragon Wall on this page, you will notice, is actually is a replica of a 5-dragon wall, actually back in Beihai Park in Beijing.
In Beijing, okay.
Yeah, so it's practically a replica, but this one is the 9 dragons. So you notice the different colors of this dragon, and also we believe this is actually, you can keep off the evil from the Grand Hotel.
Yes.
So we all know the Grand has a very good feng shui. So this is one of the wall that we created to keep the evil spirit away from us.
Okay. And Michelle, we also see that in this book about Grand Hotel, in addition to the dragon designs, you also have a lot of stone lions. For example, here we have Nanbei Shishi. Can you tell us a little bit also about these stone lions?
Yeah. The stone lions actually is also century old.
Oh, okay.
During that time, wasn't naturally located right there.
Oh, okay.
Was during that time because it's Japanese rule.
Okay.
So the very famous Banqiao Lin family, they actually tribute these stone lions to the Grand. So until now, the Grand, we still keep the stone lions right there for the memories.
All right. We understand that there's been, like you said, ongoing and continuous renovation projects with the Grand Hotel. We also understand, in addition to the main hotel building, you also have an annex that's connected in the back. Can you tell us anything special about the annex? Is it primarily for restaurants, for meetings, or with the hotel rooms also?
Yes.
Okay.
Those 2 pavilions, one is Chiang, another one is Golden Dragon.
Golden Dragon. Okay.
And they both actually located on the back side of the hotel. They actually was built earlier than the main building.
All right.
Yeah, so when they complete this project over there, they also have the hotel rooms.
Okay.
And also have a wine restaurant. It's called Golden Dragon Restaurant.
Yes.
They serve very authentic Cantonese cuisine.
Good.
And the view was magnificent because you can look out the Keelung River. So most of the people dining over there, they're not just enjoying the gourmet, but yet they enjoy a beautiful view
as well. Yes. But going back to the dragon, design, we understand this is the Dragon Palace Hotel. And do you know roughly, how many dragon, designs or, decorations that you have at the Grand today?
Yes, believe it or not, we have 200,000 dragons.
200,000?
All surrounded in the Grand.
That's amazing. Yes. I mean, it's not all just in the, public areas, but also in the rooms as well, I suppose.
Yes. You can actually notice there's many decorations around the hotel.
Yes.
And you will notice on the ceiling.
On the ceiling, yes.
And also on the wall. And sometimes you notice there's small decorations surrounded around the hallway. That also you will notice some dragons.
Okay.
Yes.
So the dragons is all over, but as you said, dragon is symbolizing,
Yeah.
The good luck, the good fortune
Right.
in Chinese history. It certainly is a very good sign in terms of Chinese feng shui.
Right.
To make sure the Grand Hotel continue to thrive along with all of us in Taiwan.
Yes.
We're going to take the first break on our program today, and when we come back, we will continue our conversation with Miss Michelle Liu, who's the sales manager at the Grand Hotel, and we will talk about some of the more mysterious stories that are surrounding the Grand. I'll see you in just a few minutes.
桥未回，若座桥吧，永远的家。
侨委会教你看台湾。
台湾原本就是个美食多元化的国度，现在因为台湾人在传统和异国料理融合外，更在用餐气氛发挥无与伦比的创新，让美食在台湾永远是个惊奇。
最推荐是坐在我们楼下水边，然后一边吃着我们的意大利面，或是喜欢吃牛排的朋友们，可以坐在一个河边，然后享受整个环境的变化，会有光影的流动以及水的波纹，然后从灯光产生一些不一样的感觉，让整个身心灵都可以得到放松。
除了创新的用餐氛围外，在台湾的优质餐厅中，更把有历史的老房子重新赋予新生命。
就是很喜欢玩老房子的人。那这个房子的历史，它是民国13年盖的，因为我觉得老房子的历史要延续，那刚好它有很多东西我们可以处理到。对，那其实有了那个东西之后，跟客人之间反而有更多的互动，因为他们会觉得我们有这样的用意保存一个历史，他们会很开心。
他们的餐厅的口碑不错，最主要是菜色方面口感真的是超级棒。
不管是传统的料理方式，或是创意的烹煮过程，坚持用最新鲜的食材，就是优质餐厅的最大特色。
特色就是像海鲜一定要新鲜，然后料理一定要对味，再服务一定要亲切。
起家的东西就是以我们的铁锅生煎包、种酥蟹壳黄跟我们的油豆腐细粉，在第一代在经营的同时，也深受很多政府官员的喜爱。当然曾经在很深受喜爱的同时，我们也有进到所谓的那个官邸去做过服务。
优质餐厅不但强调创意、舒适的用餐环境，还不断追求更高境界的美食新领域。当你进入美食新生命时，你会发现台湾美食处处是惊奇。就让美食新地图为你展开。
爷爷，你到底在说什么鸟啊？
你听无哦？白眉，可亲像阿公安尼白白白啊！
阿公啊，是在用我们的母语教我们认识台湾在地的稀有鸟类啊。
阿公阿嬷嘛都爱有孙来叫，伫厝内，互咱的囡仔会当讲阿公阿嬷的话，唱咱家己的歌。
Welcome back to the second segment of today's program here on the Taiwan Outlook. I'm your host, Wu Ruiguo. We will continue this very interesting conversation with Miss Michelle Liu, who is the sales manager at the Grand Hotel. Michelle, I have a confession to make. Part of the perks for hosting the program on Taiwan Outlook is that I get to receive a lot of free gifts and souvenirs from my guests on the program, and today is no exception because Michelle was kind enough to bring us a box of a very famous dish from Grand Hotel. Can you tell us a little bit about what it is, and starting with the design of the box?
Yes, of course. First of all, I would like to introduce the name of this particular dessert.
Okay.
This is one of the very famous dessert from the Grand.
Okay.
Because back to the time, Madame Chang, she really adored this red bean cake.
Okay.
This red bean cake, why it's so famous and popular? We're looking at the box. This is, first of all, the dragon is a central dragon. And inside the box is a nice cake and hiding.
All right.
And this red bean cake has a very sweet taste in the center.
Okay.
It's made from the fresh red beans. And also the cake itself is made from two different types of rice.
Okay.
And one is pong lai and one is zai lai.
Okay.
But the secret about this whole cake has to make it so fluffy, it has to be proportion and precise amount of the ingredients to make it perfect.
All right. Before you go any further, I'm going to unveil the mystery. I'm going to open the box slowly, so make sure that you suffer a little bit. Okay, and here it is, the red bean cake, as Michelle just introduced. And this is normally, in the size of 6-inch.
Right.
Okay, and then this is something, of course, for many of us growing up in Taiwan, this is one of the best-known desserts that many families will crave for, especially on holiday season like Chinese New Year or also Christmas. And as Michelle mentioned also, that this is something that the late Madame Chiang Shek always prefer as part of her desserts. And this is something we're very grateful that Michelle will bring us some samples to the program today, and this is my box to keep, so stop thinking about it. But Michelle does bring some smaller portions to the program that we have here, and Michelle can show us, tell us a little bit about, especially the new portion that you have come out with.
Right, and this particular small portion, because we consider a lot of family, sometimes they probably would like to
consume
such a big 6-inch. So it would be easier for a small family, or maybe people that enjoy just a small piece of taste, and we actually create this new item, a new style.
Okay.
And it's the red bean cake. Still, there's a center of the red bean inside of the cake.
Precisely.
So each one individual, so you can just print it out, putting the a sting, and then you can enjoy it just right there.
Okay.
Yes.
Good, and this, of course, we will share with our camera and production crew after the taping's over.
Okay, please do so. Thank you.
And Michelle, we're going to get on to something a little more serious, because as we said in the earlier part of the program, there are something mysterious about the Grand Hotel. For example, there were reports about 2 emergency underpasses that were built back in the days when the hotel was first constructed. Can you tell us a little bit about those rumors, or are they real? Okay.
Sure, it's my pleasure.
Okay.
Those 2 emergency underpasses, sometimes people even call them secret passengers.
Yes.
So it's actually located on the both east side and west side of hotels. And actually, there's rumors about these 2 passages. It goes all the way to Chiang Kai-shek's presidential office and his home.
Okay.
But the truth about these 2 passengers actually is for evacuation only. And both east side of the underpassages is actually length is about 178 meters and can contain about 10,000 people to save staying there.
Okay.
Another one is on the west side of the hotel.
Yes.
And the west side of the hotel is about 180 meters. And that also can contain 10,000 people for evacuation.
Okay.
Yes.
So it was actually built for that purpose.
Right.
All right. Are they open to the public? Are they operational today? Can they actually evacuate people if, there is ever an emergency at the hotel?
Yes, for emergency, yes, we were definitely using that.
Okay.
But for now on, the hotel actually opened up to the hotel guests only.
Okay.
So it has to be scheduled by a special appointment.
Okay.
So welcome, Raymond, to take a trip.
All right, we'll do so. And we also understand there are 6 Chinese characters painted in the hotel lobby. Can you tell us what they are, and do they stand for any significant or special meaning?
Yes. Once you're entering our lobby, you will notice on the left side of our glass door.
Okay.
On the top of the glass door, you will notice there's 6 characters you mentioned.
Okay.
And it's meaning long life Republic of China.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right. So in Chinese is 中华民国万岁.
万岁. It's very creative, but as we know, it has a very deep history meaning to it as well.
All right. So it was built at the time. It was put up there at the time when the hotel was first, built. Yes. And I mean, as we know that, today's Taiwan is a lot more democratic than it was back in the days when the hotel was first built. Was some of these, decorations, continue to attract attention, curiosity, or is it something of a contention with some of the different individuals or groups in Taiwan? Will people have any voice, any objections, or different opinions about the hotel decorations?
Well, as the visitors or guests, I think most of them, they probably won't notice.
No.
Yes.
Okay.
But if you do actually know about it, you will pay a lot of attention to it.
Okay.
And you will notice that it's very interesting because it's surrounded around the glass. So it's not just so obvious it's standing right there, but it's actually mixed with the graphic on the window, which is on the glass door.
Okay.
So, it will be interesting because it's very close to our cafe, and that coffee shop that, you have international customers and also guests enjoying the afternoon or evening drinks over there. And if you do pay a little attention, perhaps you will realize those 6 characters. Otherwise, I think you would just notice as a very creative art.
Okay, good. And we talk about the role that Madame Chiang Kai-shek played in terms of the design, the conception of the hotel. And can you share with us, of course, within permissible limits, what are some of Madame Chiang Kai-shek's favorite dishes, for example, when she visited the hotel, and what are some of her, preferred activities at the hotel, and maybe, our audience would be interested to know what the late Madame Chiang Kai-shek were, interested in doing at the Grand.
Yes. Well, actually, Madame Chang, she really enjoyed another dish. It's called pocket tofu.
Okay.
And that pocket tofu, according to our chef, as I know, I'm not a good chef, so our chef actually mentioned about how to make this tofu dish. Is you have to use just the regular tofu, you're cutting 4 edges off, and then using the cotton cloth, you squeeze that water out of the tofu, and then the secret ingredient is the hen chicken broth. So you mix with the hen chicken broth and with the other spice together, and then you form them into your hand, and then you deep fry to complete this dish. And it's one of our Chiang Kai-shek and also Madame Chang really enjoying this particular dish. Any other particular things that Madame Chang would like to do? I think she is actually a very down-to-earth person, and her lifestyle is very simple, and her eating habits is rather pretty light. She always we used to actually offer Chiang Kai-shek's Madame Chang's breakfast. So Madame Chang's breakfast is just a simple continental breakfast. Yeah, so
very light.
Very light. It's actually very common. So, it's kind of erased the idea of how people pursue them are actually living in the royalty lifestyle.
We also understand that the Grand has played host to many of the very important occasions. Of course, in recent years, with the improvement of cross-strait economic relations, the first, Jiang meeting, between Taiwan Straits Exchange Foundation and also China's Association for Relations Across Taiwan Strait, ARATS, were held at the Grand Hotel. I believe it was back in 2008, and that was a very historic occasion. And I know you probably weren't a part of the hotel yet, but still, I mean, were there any special fond memories that some of your coworkers might have share with you during that particular meeting, that 4 days they when the Chinese delegation stayed at your hotel?
Yes, actually, back in 2008, the Chang meetings, the second meetings in the Grand, actually, it's a very important, crucial moments for a lot of two sides of the parties.
Of course.
And then as a Grand, we're very proud that we'll be able to actually hosting this whole event.
Yes.
And during that time, I believe some of my coworker would share the story of Chen Ling were actually very enjoying our beef noodle.
Oh,
so once that the news was released, our beef noodle became one of the really hot selling items in the restaurant.
Yes.
Yeah. So any others? It's actually we are the hotel actually itself has experienced many historical political moments. So this one particular one, it helps the relationship between the two sides. And it's cross straits, and now actually we're looking a very bright future to develop this two-sided business, and then it actually boosting the tourism for Taiwan as well.
Yeah, for the final question of this part of the program, then Michelle, as a sales manager, we're looking at Chinese tourists coming to Taiwan this year to possibly break the 2 million mark. How big of that will come and stay or enjoy the hospitality at the Grand Hotel?
Well, the Grand Hotel actually we share a very big important part of this portion.
Okay.
The Grand, why they would choose the Grand Hotel as the Chinese tourists? Because the Grand Hotel has very rich history background.
Of course.
And it's very interested to the Chinese tourists. And also, we have a wonderful, beautiful palace-style hotels. So that's why even they don't stay with our hotel, they still will come by and take a photo. Yeah, and visit as well.
This is a must-see in Taipei.
The landmark.
Yes. We need to take another break on the program, and we'll be right back.
侨委会，构筑侨胞永远的家。
侨委会教你看台湾。
在新与旧的交汇处，隐身于台中老中信市场里的艺术聚落，在艺术家的巧思打造之下，成为人们挖宝的好去处。由传统市集、住家以及数个不同艺文空间共存的场域，留存了在地的自然风貌，也让艺术的种子在这里发芽。
一切都是从黑白切开始的，因为黑白切在这个市场的外围，那他们才有机会看到这个市场的内部，就是这里面这么的阴暗，这么的被忽略啊，可不可以我们也找一个空间来玩一玩？做创作人他看到的东西应该不是一般人看到的，只是想说，这个空间因为是旧的，所以它有很多改造的可能，还有整个的时间感。因为这个东西是时间自然而然累积出来的，还有人们生活的痕迹，你要买也买不到这样的质地。
在中心艺术聚落里，有许多不同属性的艺文空间，有展览艺术作品的 Z 空间，以及艺术家不时会进驻的黑白切，有播放独立制作的小路印画，有收集名艺古玩的古董小店，也有招待大家喝咖啡的小摊子，还有专卖性别书籍的自己的房间等等，各有各的巧妙之处。
你如果用比较宽广的定义来看创作者的话，对啊，这里是还蛮多艺文的爱好者或者是工作者。那每一个空间，他们都希望别人去跟他们就是沟通，然后了解彼此在做什么。他们希望找到的是同好。
透过年轻艺文工作者的创意，让传统市场拥有了崭新风貌以及生活美学，让人发现原来艺术就在你我的身边。